live. And I am looking forward to seeing someone letting me know that they can see and hear me. You know how I like to do that. And whoever does do that, I will do a special spiritual mind treatment for you. So feel free to write a comment. If you're watching this not live, not 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, New York City, Margie, no. And she's here. Okay, Damaris. Who? Hi. Okay. Who to you? Who to you too? So, okay. So Damaris and Margie, you have one special spiritual mind treatment. So let me know for what you would like me to do. I think Damaris is coming to us from Puerto Rico, I think. Okay. So, if you could, in the peanut gallery here, if you could shut off your sound. So I'm not hearing myself every which way. That would be great. Okay, so let's begin by setting our consciousness with God. So this word is being spoken for each one. I include our beloved practitioners, Stephanie and Irene. And if there is anyone else that you would like to include, or any place on the planet, just think of that name now, that person's name now, and know that this word is also for them. Okay. Look. There is a creator. And out of its own nothing, all that is has emerged. The universe and everything in it. And everything that is created has a perfect pattern behind it. A pattern of perfect operation, a pattern that is in harmony and balance with everything else that is created. This is evidence of an intelligence that is everywhere present, guiding, directing, causing, creating, harmonizing, and allowing everything to have choice and freedom in moving from good to greater good and remaining in harmony with everything else. And from the very beginning of the creation of time and space, from the very beginning of the creation of the universe, from the very beginning of the creation of anything, this intelligence is present with its perfect pattern and its law that executes and delivers that pattern into form seamlessly. In every detail, there is no flaw, there is no error, there is no confusion about it, there is no forgetfulness about it. This infinite mind, this divine creator is at work always. And so that creator that is and was present at the very beginning of the start of anything, at the very beginning of the thought of each one here, that perfect creator and all that it does is present now. That means that that perfect pattern is here still. Any belief that living this life or expressing this life in any particular way has messed up the perfect pattern is erased, evaporated, and vanished. This infinite mind is the mind that each one is using to think, to choose. It is this infinite mind that always provides what needs to be known, whether it be a memory, a word, or divine guidance. This divine law has all the templates of perfect forms which it uses in creating a specific form, and these forms being perfect, that divine law with the thinking of the infinite mind is able to create something unique, like snowflakes. No two are the same. And so each one is that which is created and still is being created. Each one is supported, sustained, and maintained, but it's really now creation. always continuously at work, seamlessly, without a pause, without a need for rest, always God knowing, always God knowing. I am that I am. The divine cannot stop knowing itself, and neither can anyone here. Each one is now knowing what the divine is knowing. I am that I am, knowing it as perfection. All self-judgment, self-criticism, and all separating of the self from that divine pattern. All belief that, well, yeah, that's what God thinks, but then I am something else. It's all erased, vanished, and gone. That divine, loving creator is giving its all attention in knowing itself in through as each one, and creating that which it knows. And it only knows harmony, order, balance, perfect expression, perfect operation. And so any belief in the earthly realm as cause, any belief that something that's going on in the world or in one's experience could somehow overrule or interfere with this ongoing creative activity of the divine is now revealed to be false. And that belief and all that evidence that might have accrued because of that belief is all by this word erased, evaporated, and vanished. Each one is yesterday, today, and forever. In this now, here moment, I am that I am. And so each one is strong, each one is the presence of love, and each one is equal to the world in which he or she is expressing, because this one divine creator is creating this world using the consciousness of each one. So one cannot get ahead of oneself or behind oneself. Any belief in being unequal to one's world, all belief in being inadequate, not enough, unworthy, undeserving, all belief in making mistakes, all belief in not knowing what one is doing, all confusion, it's all by this word, erased, evaporated, and vanished, because there's not a word of truth to any of those beliefs, because this divine creator is creating each one's world using each one's consciousness. And so each one is equal to that which is expressed. And therefore each one is centered in that divine knowing, I am that I am, turning to that divine knower for cause, for the very life that each one has been given to express. Each one is turning to this one divine creator for the mind that each one is using. Each one is turning to that divine presence for the guidance, for the wisdom, for the answer, for the solution, for the support, for the money, for the wonderful harmonious relationships. Each one is turning to this divine creator and its law for creating a life experience that one loves completely. Each one turning to the one is turning to that great thinker's thought, I am that I am. And as such, each one is knowing peace. Each one is knowing that in I am that I am, all is well. Each one is knowing that each one is in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing with the right people, saying the right thoughts, thinking the right thoughts for the highest and the greatest good of oneself, which is always the highest and greatest good of all. It's the divine that makes this so. There is no arrogance, there is no overconfidence, underconfidence, there is no big head, no ego. There is simply a recognition of that divine's identity, that divine knowing, I am that I am. And with crystal clarity, each one sees his or her world of expression with right seeing, right perception. And each one is seeing that he or she belongs. that he or she is loved, that he or she is a citizen of the universe and is the recipient of the divine inheritance. And so each one takes this gift of life that has been given and is grateful for it, is blessed by it, and accepts the blessings, receives the blessings and accepts them wholeheartedly, whole bodily, whole soulily. Each one is taking this gift of life and joyously participating in expressing all that has been given. And each one is centered, each one is well, each one is healthy and balanced, each one is clear. If there is anything for one to do in this world, it's clear what it is, and each one is enough to do it. Each one can handle that which is coming to each one from the so-called outer world, because it is the inner world that has prepared each one to handle it. It is done. Nothing for anyone to do except accept gratefully, graciously, easily, peacefully, happily, healthily, wealthfully, and lovingly. And with all this and the infinite opportunities yet to be, each one is a joyous participant in this game of life. And it is good. I am grateful that this is so. I release this word to God's powerful law, knowing it is already done, and so it is. That's the way it is. Here we go. Reverend Rich. right, so what are you open to today? We definitely have a high consciousness going on here. Practitioners retreating before the service, so boy, anything is possible.
They came back looking like they saw God.
They really, and some of them were in shock. So I'm feeling the reverberation. So open your heart and really connect with what you truly desire and just let it be there. Let it be there on the table. Don't say no to it. Just let it be there. And let's know that somehow Spirit moves through us and delivers us the guidance, the answer, the healing, whatever it is. Take a look.
Myself in sweet surrender to the luminous love that is God's one. I open myself in sweet surrender to the luminous love that is God's one. I'm open. I'm open. I'm open. I'm open.
Gary Torres. I'm one of the licensed practitioners here at the Centers for Spiritual Living, Princeton, and I'm here to welcome everybody who wishes to join us, people who watch this later, whenever. We are a loving, healing, inclusive community which practices and teaches the principles of science of mind for the well-being and spiritual growth of ourselves and the world. We encourage daily spiritual practice. You know, it's one thing to have things in your mind philosophically or even feelings, but if you don't practice, sooner or later things tend to fall apart a little bit. So I'm reminded of one of my favorite authors, Lama Surya Das, was once asked, "What's the best form of meditation?" And his answer was, "The one you actually do." So there are a million forms of meditation, there are a million practices. Whatever works for you, works for you. We normally have a couple things going on this week, for the next several weeks. Tuesday evenings at 7 p.m. we have a class on Zoom that's run by another practitioner, Susan Nate, on Ernest Holmes' book, This Thing Called You. There's a $19 fee for drop-ins. You'll find more about it on our webpage, cslprinceton.org, or on Facebook, where you are now. There is always available by phone an affirmative prayer in English and Spanish, 24/7. So you can always get hold of us, or you can get hold of any one of the licensed practitioners if you need a prayer. If you happen to want a little more formal, lasting session, we're available. There's a fee that's negotiable, but we waive the fee if your problem is you don't have money. Obviously, we're not going to say, "Oh, you have to pay us so that we pray for you to have money." We don't do that. Anyway, we are always glad to accept any request that you might have, and feel free to find out more on our website and on Facebook. Take care now.
Okay.
Like a peace, like a river, a peace, like a river, peace like a river. Yes, I do. And it flows like a river, flows like a river, flows like a river in my soul. I got joy like a fountain. Yes, I got joy like a fountain. Joy like a fountain in my soul. Let me hear you now. It flows like a fountain. Flows like a fountain. Flows like a fountain in my soul. I got love like an ocean. I got love like an ocean. Love like an ocean in my soul. Let me hear it now. It flows like an ocean. Flows like an ocean. Flows like an ocean in my soul. Everybody's gonna sing it. I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river in my soul. Yes, I do. It flows like a river. Yes, it flows just like a river. Flows like a river in my soul. I got peace like a river. Got peace like a river. Yes, I got peace like a river in my soul. Oh, yeah. It flows like a river. Flows like a river. Flows like a river in my soul.
Thank you, Reverend Rich.
Good morning. My name is Mary VerCande, and I'm a practitioner here at the center. And this morning I'm going to share with you a meditation that I was privileged to lead at a workshop for our foundations class. And I see quite a few people here who were at and so I hope you enjoyed it as much as I do and enjoy doing it again today. And then I'll conclude with the spiritual mind treatment. So, sit up and relax. Take another breath and relax some more. Feel your breath going in and out. Become very aware of your breathing. Now, become aware of the presence of God in the atmosphere around you. Sense the light and the love of God as it goes in and out with each breath. Become aware of the energy of the universe bathing you. The same energy that permeates everything. Become aware of the sensations within your body. Become aware of the feeling of your skin. The touch of your clothing. Become aware the sensations in your mouth. your tongue resting against your teeth. Become aware of any bodily sensations and reflect that every sensation is the biochemical process of the energy and power and presence that is the creative life within you. Become aware of God's power at work within you. Listen and hear the sounds of God around you. Every sound reflects the work of some divine action taking place. Now, ask yourself, what do I know about God? Begin naming what you know about God. God is love. God is life. God is lavish abundance. Now, let go of saying God is and contemplate the qualities of the ultimate. Say the words softly and absorb their meaning for you. Harmony. Peace. Total wellness. Perfect wisdom. Imagine you're opening your heart and mind to all good things. Become aware of the good welling up from within you. Know that words spoken from a spiritual consciousness have the power to manifest truth and wholeness, peace and well-being, to initiate change and wash away false limitation. Become aware of the wisdom within you. become aware of your intuitive voice. Know that you can follow this wisdom into action. Now, open your eyes and look around the room. Look at each other. Notice that you are looking at God in expression. Notice that you are seeing through the eyes of love. So this word is spoken for each one hearing these words. There is one presence. It is love. It is everywhere present and always expressing. It is expressing as each one. Each one sees this love. Each one experiences this love. And each one expresses this love. The divine love is all there is. It is working in the lives of each one, bringing forth greater good, perfect wellness, opulent abundance, total health, that each one experiences here and now, always aware that they are connected to the one, are intimately one with the divine, an expression of the divine, and always living in love. This word is the truth. And I am grateful for this truth. And I release this word to the loving law, knowing it is so. And so it is.
Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. There's nothing you can do that can't be done. Nothing you can sing that can't be sung. Nothing you can say, but you can learn how to say it again. It's easy. Nothing you can do that can't be made. Nothing you can say that can't be said. Nothing you can do, but you can learn how to be divine. It's easy. All you need is love. All together. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. Nothing you can do that isn't known. Nothing you can see that isn't shown. No one you can be that isn't where you're meant to be. It's easy. All you need is love. All together now. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. Love is all you need. Love is all you need.
got a sound this morning that's filling the room. I don't know. Right. And perfect love casts out all fear. And it can be thought that maybe every single one of our problems is just some little area of fear in us. So, I don't know, contemplate that for a while. If you're so kind. Well, we've been working with the collective essays of Robert Bitzer this summer, and I'll report first of all on my personal experience of money. So for any of you, and we have some new people who want to get on board with our increase of money consciousness, what we are doing is what Robert Bitzer has suggested we do, which is expand our acceptance of a specific amount of money. And so we chose, or I chose, and you're following me, monthly, to increase our monthly income each month, this month, month after month, by an increase of more than $500. And I've been doing spiritual mind treatment work for each of us who have just decided to do it. So you're included if you just decided to do it. And hello, Stephanie Ann from Tornesch, Germany. We were all knowing the truth for you. Thank you so much. And Joe and Deborah and Clee and Angela and Tina and Robert and Arvind. Oh, I'm glad you made it. And they were here last week. And okay, so hi guys. So let me know any limiting beliefs that come up in you in your claiming of more money, because what I've been working with is the limiting beliefs that have come up in me, and it's been a lot, and you would think I would have none, but apparently there's always more God to know, God being infinite. So yep, more false beliefs came up. And as I did the spiritual work to dissolve those limiting beliefs, my resistances to money, new things started showing up. So one thing that happened was I was expecting a check for $400 for some work that I did. And I'm like, where is that money? What's going on? And so I'm like, I'm going to have to ask them again, because they always lose the email and I don't know, something weird happens. Let me check it out. And so I checked out my emails and discovered that I had never sent my invoice. It got saved in drafts. I know I sent it. I know I pressed the right button. But I was wrong. Something else happened. And so I sent it, and within a week, I got my $400. So that's my $400 out of the 500. And then I had an appointment with my income tax accountant. We had extended my deadline for the first time. I wasn't really sure how to follow up on it. So I followed up, and I think they forgot about me. Because I sent him an email saying, so I'd rather not wait until the next deadline. Is there something that I need to do in order to get this filed? And there was silence for a couple days, and then all of a sudden the whole return and everything came with it. And it turns out I'm getting all this money back that I had paid in. So then the question is, well, that's an anomaly. When I receive all that money back, that's like, say I'm getting $1,500 back. Now, do I count it? Because I had to pay it in April, and I'm getting it back. So does that count? And my prosperity mentor, Reverend Edwin Gaines, would say to me, Karen, it sounds like you're trying to limit your measuring of God's good by what are the rules. And so that actually is our focus today with Robert Bitzer. He's got a little chapter called Change, Good or Bad, and another chapter called Maneuverability, which we need, and another one called Spring. And they all have to do with the same thing. So the first thing that we realize is that everything in the relative world, in the universe, all this stuff, it changes, right? Everything's already moving. The planet's moving. We're changing even if we think we're still. Everything's changing. However, he says, change just for the sake of change is not necessarily constructive. And so what we want to think about is the difference between change and growth. Because we are about constructive change. We are about growth, increase, more life, more love, more peace. There's something within us which is always urging us to experience, accept, and embody more of that which is divine. And so with our little summer experiment, yeah, we're using more money, but behind it is a recognition that the consciousness that we are growing into is an idea of God as more of the source of our good, the source of our money. We want to expand our belief that God is the source of our good, even our money. And so just for fun, we're treating each day for more than 500 just for fun. It's fun money because it comes from God. It's just for fun. But see, we are standing upon the principle of growth and moving from good to greater good, expanded idea of wealth, expanded idea of abundance, and expanded idea of what is possible. What is possible for us? And so with that consciousness, we're then seeing, how the money shows up. So I'm very interested in what your experiences are. He says, the expression of infinite principle is constantly undergoing change, but it's always constructive. He warns us, change just for the sake of change can become a mania. It's due to a lack of inner security. It is a blind frenzy striking in every direction, subconsciously hoping that the right direction might thus be found. Have you ever started a project that was really dear to your heart, maybe a business, and they tell you all these things that you have to do? You got to get a website, you got to get this, and you got to get that, you got to get this, and you got to get that. I mean, you could go crazy. And I am a member of lots of social media communities who are doing that. And it really sounds like they're all about to just fly off the planet. And they're thinking they're inspired and they're eager and they're full of enthusiasm. And I'm like, okay, that's good. Make all the progress that you can, because we are more than just that energy of moving forward and pushing forward and making it happen. We need a rest. And they're going to have a rest. I have already done this many and many a time, and I know. Let me start with resting. But even that's not the answer. My personal message for today is, as we grow, we learn something new about God. And then what we tend to do is take that new guidance as a rule, and then apply that rule the next time we want good, and the next time we want good. And so, yes, that's correct, sometimes. And at other times, it's not. The rules have to be broken because we've outgrown them. So wherever you have a rule about life, how to live your life, how to how to have a happy, healthy, loving, wonderful life. Wherever you have a rule, a way of acting on the planet, not a rule about God, but a rule about the way you are behaving on the planet, if that rule's been around for a while, and if you're not experiencing progress, take a look at that rule. Because probably that rule was, based upon some truth, but not all truth. And so it needs to be re-examined. He says, when you feel yourself caught or trapped in a situation, you are confronted with a necessity to change. And so we need to realize that we will always have that experience because we are growing. And so we will receive a new idea and let it unfold in us, let it change us, let it change our whole environment. And at a certain point, we outgrow it. It wasn't the last growth spurt for you. We are infinite beings. And many of us unconsciously calculate how many more growth spurts you've got left in you. Oh, that hit home. So there must be some calculating going on, right? Like, how many until I retire? How many until I leave the planet? How many until my kid goes off to school? How many to whatever? And so what we want to realize is those are unconscious rules we've got about how many growth spurts we can have, and that we are infinite beings with infinite possibilities. So maneuverability is needed. He says, maneuverability is a necessary qualification for accomplishment. It may seem a long road with no turning, but keep going and eventually it or you will turn. He says, there are times to act positively and aggressively, and there are times to be quiet and meditative. There are times when you push forward as rapidly as possible, and there are other times when you stand still. So how do we know? And that's why I call living an art, because it requires us to create our experience of life, to try this, try that, and to be very fluid and flexible in our choices. That if something is working, we keep on doing it. But at a certain point, it'll stop working. And then we need to listen from within and go, okay, is what I am doing no longer what I am guided to do? Or have I come up against a false belief where I need to rethink my consciousness, my relationship with the divine, and then I might be guided to do the same thing? Or maybe it's time to just do something else. And no one can tell you what to do, not even a practitioner. We can treat that you know what to do, and you might be sitting there going, well, thanks a lot. That was a lot of help. What do I do? What do I do? I'm like, I don't know. I have no clue. And I notice for myself that whenever I think I have a sense of what is for someone else to do, I'm way off base, because when they finally hear the wisdom, off they go and off they do it, and everything flows for them again. And I'm like, well, what do you know? I didn't know. And it's not for me to know. I have enough trouble listening to my own guidance about what is for me to do. It's tricky, right? You know, that divine does not give signs the way I would like to receive them. You know, I mean, it used to be when I was first in this teaching, I had a girlfriend who would go to, when she was looking for a sign of what to do, she would go into a bookstore and a book would fall in front of her. And she would pick it up and she's like, there's the answer. And it was. I used to, play with those little bag of runes, and you go in and you're like, okay, what should I do? What does my divine guidance say? Whatever, and you fumble around with all these runes and you pick one. And it's this little symbol. And then you read the explanation, and it could mean anything. And you're like, okay, somehow that's the answer. But what do I do? Sometimes I've thought I need to make a phone call. I need to take action. But I'm not really sure that that's divine guidance or me just thinking I should do something about this. And so what I have learned to do, this is my current rule, is I'm going to make the phone call, but if it doesn't go through, I stop. And I have had that's been working for me lately for maybe the past 10, 15 years. It's not going to work forever because I'm going to outgrow that rule about how to make my choices. So we need to be flexible. We need to learn what our inner guidance is. And we need to be on the alert because inner guidance can take infinite forms of letting us know. So I always listen to the still small voice, yeah? And sometimes I listen to the cop who's standing in front of me. It's both that inner guidance, that divine letting me know. I listen to that still small voice, and when I'm in traffic, I don't know why I'm talking about driving, but when a car pulls out in front of me, I decided that's my divine guidance telling me to slow down for some good reason for me. And it used to be that there would be a speed trap ahead, or I don't know why. Maybe I avoided something. Maybe I needed to just slow down and smell the car fumes. For some good end, I'm sure, right? So, but being maneuverable, being able to be ready for any good thing to enter your life and for the guidance to come in any good way. He says, your greatest problem in life is to get rid of the resistance. Beliefs that resist progress and change. Habits that have so gripped you that that you forget how they were originally started. These little rules I have. Okay, it was divine guidance. I stumbled upon it. It worked. But to realize it was a mental decision that I made at a certain point. And so I can change my mind. A lot of our rules are human-made, not divinely given. We need to understand that even the divine inspiration and guidance that we've received, we have attached mental human ideas to it. And so they're disposable. And when we want to really flow with life, we want to begin to enjoy that living is a mystery. It's magic. Sometimes it's very clear, linear. Sometimes it is, I treated and there it was. I treated and there it was. I treated and where did it go? And we want to be open to more signs along the way. I think everybody should go over to Europe and walk a little bit of the Camino. Maybe just for a day. I don't care how far you go. But there's nothing like being all alone in some place where you have no clue where to go and be looking for a sign to tell you. It might be an arrow, it might be a little post, but you're looking for it. Sometimes it's painted on the side of somebody's house. One time, I was standing at a fork in the woods. There was a path going that way and a path going that way. And I'm just standing there looking. Where's the arrow? Where's the yellow arrow? Or where's the post? Where's anything? Looking ahead. I'm all over the place, and I'm just standing there. I don't know how long, until all of a sudden, in one place, I saw, far, far away, a yellow arrow on a garbage can. On a garbage can. Someone had painted. These yellow arrows that are painted on things, they say were done by the people who were walking it. People who had trouble finding the sign, and so they I'm going to help the people who come after. This is the way. And they use whatever they've got. So this mysterious, magical thing called life that we are living requires us to get with the divine impulse in us to grow. No matter how we're growing in the world, money, health, whatever, it's really growing in an awareness of the omnipresence of the divine. We, in this teaching, we get it. But it's okay. People grow without getting it. They'll get, at some point, their reason for growing will have outgrown, and they'll find God. Every one of us. I'm sorry. Why? Because you can't get away from it. It's everywhere. And so I certainly did begin as an atheist, and I found God. I wasn't looking for it. There you go. What can I say? Everybody will. Call that divine whatever you may. It's okay. And what a surprise that is. To be human, hunting, gathering, eating, procreating, and then you stumble upon something that's invisible and that affects everything that you're doing. So our science of mind is a fabulous teaching, the science of how to think. But Dr. Ernest Holmes wrote another book called Living the Science of Mind, what these essays of Robert Bitzer are really about, which is, I'm taking these spiritual principles that I've learned. It is done unto me as I believe. Okay, I get it. First I think, first I know, make a decision, and then it happens. Got it. But now what? In the creating of a building, there's a sequence. People stumbled upon that sequence by trial and error. I read some book that delighted upon exposing all of these physical principles that human beings have discovered and constructed buildings and bridges and everything else on. And what that the gentleman who wrote the book kept pointing out was that there were so many physical laws that will affect their construction that we don't know yet. And we discover them when the bridge fails, when the balcony everybody's standing on collapses. We discover these physical laws. And so we need to be flexible. We cannot assume we know all the answers when all the answers are, the number of them is infinite. But we know all that we need to know in order to move forward. That's what growth is about. We use all that we have learned, all that we have begun to believe, all that we have evidence from. We gather it all up and we make the best decision. Where we're at the cusp of all that we've got, the knowledge, the experience, the know-how, the guidance. We're at the cusp. And yet we make some rules to make things easier for us, but what we realize is maybe something new is getting discovered here by me. And then that's when the magic happens. The mystery happens. That's when our lives get interesting. Like, I don't know what's going on, but off I go. So he says, sometimes it is difficult to know where or when an experience is ended and a new one begins. And here's the key point for today. When a person moves from one location to another or buys a new factory or store, that is only the outer manifestation. The turning point is in the mind, when that person begins to think differently about him or herself. So, as we continue to grow and get experience with it, we want to pay attention to those turning points in our minds. When we make a decision to experience something new, that's the start of the creative process. Not when you go to see a practitioner. When you have that turning point in your mind. Sometimes many people the world over have had this experience where they've suffered and they've struggled and they've suffered and struggled, and all of a sudden they go, enough. That's it. You can't make yourself reach that point, but sometimes we just reach that point. That's the turning point. Or when we listen to a talk like this, or listen to somebody else sharing something wonderful, and we go, wait a minute, I want that too. I want my equivalent of that. A turning point in my mind came. I was almost through ministerial school, no desire to be a minister, until one of my fellow classmates, I heard behind the scenes that he was going to be made the next pastor of the center I was in. And all of a sudden, all of this jealousy came up. And I thought, jealousy is always, this is a rule, to be changed, but it's working so far. Jealousy in me is always an indication that I have not accepted my equivalent of the good that I see in the other. How many of us are looking at someone who's demonstrated something absolutely fabulous, and you hear yourself saying, oh, I wish if I were younger, if I were older, if I had better parents, if I was born at a different time, if I didn't have those neighbors, whatever. We say no to ourselves with those little thoughts. But when we see someone with a tremendous good, what we want to realize is, I see that good. And I am the good that I see. Claim our equivalent of the good that we see. It's a turning point in our mind to go from, my life is depressing, hopeless, and I have no future, to, oh, maybe I could do that. That turning point. And then from that point on, we are guided. And you might be guided to see a spiritual mind practitioner, and they do a spiritual mind treatment. But what I've told our practitioners is, your treatment is not the cause of what happens in that person's life. The cause is when they made that decision. That's what caused them to hire you as a practitioner. And it's what's causing you to give the treatment that you give. You're not making up a treatment. You're being given the treatment. It's being downloaded in you that the divine knew you were going to give when that person had that turning point. That's why we can treat for things that have already happened. Because the healing, everything already happened when we make that choice, that different choice. something different thought in the mind, and something in us said, yes, that. From that point on, we are in the law's hands, guiding us, directing us, and we want to be fluid. I've been rowing lately, and I'm one of 8 people in the boat. Actually 9, because there's a coxswain with a little steering mechanism. But it's possible that I could be in a boat all by myself. I've been in a canoe all by myself. It depends on where you're rowing. But sometimes the river's doing some funny stuff. And you're like, wait a minute, should I go with the flow? Or should I try to keep struggling, going the way that I think? There's never only one answer. It depends. And we want to be that fluid to stay true to that choice that we've made from our heart, and then to be very flexible in what we do, in what we say, in what we think, as we roll along, as we unfold. And as Bitzer says, to really make sure that we take that time to get rid of the resistance. We may be guided to go and face something we don't want to face, and we need to get rid of that rejection of facing it and go there. That's when I treat. It's like, okay, I'm going to go. I'm going to face what I fear to face. I'm going to face it. But divine love, come, right? Because divine love casteth out all fear. And right now I got a lot of fear. So divine love, come on, divine love. All right, even though I'm afraid, divine love, come on, help me out. And always, 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 that's a rule that I can always follow, because it's nothing to do with human. Divine love will always show us the way. A divine quality will always be the way to go. It'll just tell you different ways to go. But calling on it is always right. So does that make sense? We're true to a principle, a consciousness of the divine, the highest level that we can know it, we trust it, and then everything else about us, what we think, what we say, what we do, what we feel, who we go with, what we do here, there, or whatever, whether we push, whether we relax, whether we... Dr. Raymond Charles Barker used to say that he would do his spiritual mind treatments and then get your mind off of it. Stop thinking about what you just treated for. And so he would go read detective novels after he did his spiritual work. So that's what he was guided to do. So listen to that inner guidance. Okay, so let's contemplate these ideas here. And Reverend Rich, if you can come up with a song while we contemplate it all. Let's go. Ooh.
So this is a fun song, and it's kind of a summer song. And it's a lot about asking questions and looking for answers. Christopher Robin and I walked along under branches lit up by the moon. Posing our questions to Alan Dior as our days disappeared all too soon. But I wandered much further today than I should, and I can't seem to find my way back to the wood. So help me if you can, I've got to get back to the house Uncle Cole had by one. You'd be surprised there's so much to be done. Turn all the bees in the hive, chase all the clouds from the sky. Back to the days of Christopher Robin and Pooh. Winnie the Pooh doesn't know what to do. Got a honey jar stuck on his nose. He can't came to me asking help and advice. From here, no one knows where he goes. So I happened to ask her reality's there. How to loosen the bug from a bed. So tell me if you can. I've got to get back to the house on the corner by one. You'd be surprised there's so much to be done. All the bees and the hive, chase all the clouds from the sky. Back to the days of Christopher Robin. Back to the days of Christopher Robin. Back to the days of Christopher Robin.
All right, so with that consciousness, let's just take a moment, turn within, and let's just practice trusting. Trusting that's something that knows our way, our path, and that goes before us and makes it easy for us. So this one great and glorious life is crystal clear about what it is creating. It knows what it's about in creating each one of us. And so each one is always guided, guarded, and protected, and shown the way of growing in awareness and identification with all that is good. And in experiencing the greatness and the goodness and the truth and love and joy of this thing called life, bringing this into moment-to-moment, daily expression and experience in his or her life, and realizing that this expression of life is never the same. It is always brand new, and it is always wonderful. I am grateful that this is the truth. I release this word. It is done. Thank you, God, and so it is. Lovely, lighthearted, low-key luncheon. So please stay and enjoy all the good that's here. Thank you, Susan and Mary, for leading, and all those who brought food. I appreciate it, and I'm about to eat it. Okay, and so for you, those of you who are out there, I'm glad you came. Hello, Robert. And I think I've said hello to everybody. Let's see. Okay, good morning, good morning. Oh, hang on. I'm still looking here. We've got Germany here. We've got Thailand. Hello. Oh, Cheryl and Eric. Great. You're all here. And I think I've got you all. And Tina. And Joe. Hello, Joe. All right. Good. Excellent. Deborah Taylor. Good to see you. All right. See you next week. Bye-bye. Have a great week.